So as I was saying, it's a great pleasure to be here to introduce you this panel about blockchain and businesses. I remember a few years ago in Dubai doing the same panel, moderating the same panel, and the fun things about that is that 2 years ago we were announcing exciting news about Carrefour introducing blockchain solution, and at that time that was a big event. 2 years later, we are here, and actually blockchain became a lifeblood of any organization. So nowadays, any large organization is involved in blockchain. It's not anymore a big news. And basically, the objective of today's panel is to solve two main problems. How do we bridge the gap between large companies that today are involved in blockchain, and how small and medium enterprises, SMEs, which constitute the large part of our economy, can actually benefit from them. So I will introduce the panel, starting with Mohammed. I will kindly ask a few minutes to quickly introduce yourself, guys. Starting from Mohammed, going on that side. Thank you.
Thank you, Fiorenzo. My name is Mohammed Salman Anjum. I'm the chief mate of InvoiceMate. It's an invoice management system powered by blockchain. And I wear second hat as the BSV hub lead in the Middle East and South Asia region. So what we do basically as BSV hub, we promote blockchain, again, for different sectors, SMEs, and adoption in the government as well. As invoice management system, it is something as solving a conventional world's problem with their invoicing issues and all that. So we'll be speaking about these issues of the businesses from SMEs and large scale. And also I would like to add something about the public sector as well, where again, it's a big impact from the blockchain.
Thank you.
My name is Nicolas. I'm the CEO from A.D.M.C.S, a Swiss group. We are working on container business management. We are developing software to pilot the chain logistic based on blockchain with legal crypto and our eco-terminals.
Thank you, Nicolas.
Hello, everyone. My name is Brad Yasar, and I'm the CEO of Eqifi, which is a DeFi platform with a licensed and regulated bank.
Hello, my name is Ciubano. I'm the CEO of, sorry, it's my emotions, of Pantheon, and we are building an Amazon-like infrastructure based on blockchain for managing the life cycle of artwork.
My name is Kapley Judge. I'm the CEO of the Canada Blockchain Hub, also decentralized artificial intelligence and the REIT, real estate asset token.
Perfect. So the objective of this panel is actually we will discuss a lot about small and medium businesses, and we will focus on specific industry like that has not been digitalized yet, like large industry like accounting, logistic, healthcare, and all of that. So I would like to start with Mohammed, which is very close to me. So if you can provide us an overview of what's happening today from a business perspective in the finance/accounting space, and how small and medium enterprise can actually benefit from blockchain solution.
Yes, Fiorenzo, I've been in the space for the last 4.5 years, started as an educator. I've been consultant to several governments and also big projects. But what I saw that blockchain community was trying to solve the futuristic problems, and they were ignoring the conventional businesses' current problems. So blockchain is an enabler. It's a digital transformation enabler. And you can see in large-scale industries or in SMEs, and also at the same time in public sector as well, there is a huge requirement of digital transformation initiatives. And blockchain can be a big part of that. So figuring out that where is the current conventional businesses problem, we found out that invoicing is a big pain point for every vendor or client. And by the way, it's the largest used commercial document. So we wanted to do some document management system on blockchain, and then we find out, okay, there is a very strong requirement of an invoice management system on blockchain. How does it value, or what ROI gets by the businesses once they are starting using blockchain-based invoice management system? They can use, there are some digital solutions for the e-invoicing and AP, accounts payable solutions. But blockchain brings a lot of value in terms of no reconciliation or less reconciliation, which is, again, a big pain point. And then the second major value is the efficiency for bringing the cross-organizational workflow of invoice processing. Moving forward, we've been hearing in the morning as well about the decentralized workspaces. We need now tools. Blockchain is enabler for decentralized workplaces, but for that you need to put it into application. There are infrastructure things available on the blockchain side, but applications are a missing piece. So invoice management system is that missing piece for the conventional businesses to solve their conventional invoicing problems, starting from invoice generation, reviewing, processing, cross-organizational workflow, and most importantly, it will help to the financing part as well.
Thank you. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I see really a big advantage of efficiency in accounting for small businesses by using a blockchain solution. So moving to our next panelist, I would like now to focus on logistics, which is $1 trillion business worldwide and is still running with fax and scan. So, I mean, how do you see blockchain being implemented in the logistics, I would say from a small business point of view, from an SME perspective?
First, I'd like to thank Anthony Ritossa to invite me here. For have a real impact with blockchain in business, we must have a real project behind the blockchain. You must make not a blockchain project, many people want to make blockchain, crypto, and all these things. But the real impact is a real project behind the blockchain. The blockchain must be a tools. You must use the blockchain to complete a software or complete a system to make sense for the users. Now, we have developed a system who is to pilot the logistics chain, and the blockchain is a tools for overlay the different actors, for secure the information, to make all the action was permitted the blockchain. And now we have created the first legal crypto to connect the connection to our system and to pay all the actors from our system. And this is a real case, a real study case in our work. Blockchain is not only for, say, we make blockchain, we make this. When you want a real benefit, you must make the using of the blockchain to make a real activity for the final users. For me, it's the maritime company, is the shippers, is the owner of the goods. Now, the market of container is $12 trillion, and 90% of what human consume paste in container. This is big market. I want to profit to this panel to say big thanks to my lead investor, amazing man, Mr. Lippi, who is in this room now for Business Angel 400 Heritage.
Okay, thank you very much. It was appreciated. So yeah, moving to our next panelist now, I would like to speak about more the real world and real asset solutions. So things like real estates or real asset and tokenization in general. How you are bridging that gap, and how do you feel basically tokenization becoming mainstream across all small and medium businesses?
I think we need to look at the title of the panel. It says blockchain and business delivering real-world benefits. And the real-world benefit doesn't come from blockchain. It comes from the business. So, you know, when you look at the concept, blockchain is just the technology. It's like using the internet. It's like using, you know, cranes to put your containers. It's just a technology. You can have ports, just to follow on the previous example, that are non-profitable and don't really deliver any real-world benefit if they are ran poorly. The same thing applies to any blockchain-powered business that deals with real-world assets or services or anything. For there to be real-world benefits, the business needs to be structured in a way that benefits the world around it, whether it's economic benefit, whether it's social benefit. There has to be an implicit design decision that's made. So to use the real-world examples, you can use blockchain to very accurately determine and track ownership, provenance, whether it's land, it's art, it's anything unique. You can use NFTs to create unique identifiers that are digital and take those identifiers and allow very easy transfer of those assets. That's real-world benefit to everyone. Anyone who's owned any high art knows how difficult it is to get the provenance, even for very well documented pieces. You look at the work that needs to be done for the authentication, for the verification of ownership and things like that. It can take months to just do a simple transfer, simple sale of a painting. Well, if you were to use blockchain, you could do the same verification, assuming the system is already built and the artwork is registered within minutes. So that's one real-world application that works really well using the blockchain. Same thing for real estate. Right now, we have real estate registration rules that are different from country to country. They don't carry over. Anyone who's bought real estate in outside of their country of birth know that there are additional burdens. It's complicated. You can't oftentimes really identify what needs to happen to prove true ownership, and you have to pay a lot of people, a lot of intermediaries to work with you so that you can do it the right way. Well, bring blockchain into it, and now you can have a global land registry that everyone uses, that's standardized, and it's immutable. So no one can own the same land twice, which happens in the current systems in many countries. You have contested properties, especially if they have not been used or if they have high value, and you have to deal with those things. Again, that's a real-world benefit of implementing blockchain into these existing systems in a way where it eliminates human error, it eliminates middleman, and makes the process much more beneficial for everyone involved.
Thank you very much for your contribution. So moving to Dan, so obviously now we have mentioned the art space and the tokenization in art. So you are obviously in the field with Pantheon Art. Maybe you want to tell us more a little bit about what you're seeing in the space of tokenization of art pieces, NFTs, and all of that.
Thank you very much. As Brad was saying, indeed, in blockchain, we believe that it shouldn't be an objective, but it should be a method to improving a business model. We at Pantheon, we start our journey by trying to envision some potential answers to three very interesting questions that I think will disrupt the society and disrupt the activity of all of us in the next 10 years. And these three questions were, how will be value perceived from now in 10 years? What type of properties will be from now in 10 years? And whom will we trust? In 10 years from now, things will be very different, and let's look at the children today, the kids, the youngsters that are playing different games. They're doing things that we, all of us in this room, 10 years ago thought they were inconceivable. But now, they are paying real cash, real money for digital goods. They are paying billions of dollars a year, billions of people trying to buy clothes that they are going to wear they're going to put on their avatars. They are going to put furniture, houses, land, all those kind of things they cannot put your hand on. So what's going to happen tomorrow? This digital world we are all heading into, it's already populated. We will be reaching a world where there will be like 1 billion plus people that they perceive things totally different than we. The thin line between physical world and digital world is getting more and more blurry. And now we are thinking, these people in 10 years from now, when they will see a sculpture, a physical sculpture, will they feel it? Will they perceive it in the same way? What will be the relationship between them and that sculpture? Will they be willing to own it physically, like we understand ownership today? Or they will be willing to get a fractionary ownership of a 3D replica of that sculpture, that they will be able to use it in their mixed reality environment wherever they are, whenever they want. I think more the second part will be. So in that part, let's try to build now the infrastructure of tomorrow, because no matter what's going to happen, art is something that speaks to your soul, and it always do that. The question is how that art, that piece of art, will reach your soul. At Pantheon, we are building the infrastructure that will allow people to do that. And as Mr. Wayne Gretzky, the famous skater, said, you got to be where the puck will be, not where it was. We are trying to put our technology with the mindset of the people in 10 years from now and not of today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I totally share your points. And actually, you know, I became an NFT collector recently, so it's been a fun experience. Moving towards Kapley, our last panelist, I would like to tackle a little bit more about the real estate market. So, you know, the point has been touched about getting the opportunity to all our individuals around the world to invest in a fractional economy into the art space. How do you see that things moving into the real estate, which is a very traditional industry? How do you see that access being possible towards any individual in the world, and how do you see the evolving industry?
Well, real estate has been historically one of the best investment classes, and people use it as a hedge. Blockchain is a technology that has the potential to totally transform the entire real estate industry, because, like Brandon said, the immutability aspect of it can bring efficiencies that are have never been realized before. And beyond that, with blockchain, it allows participation from people that were never able to participate in the real estate market before. For instance, you can have people that are in different countries or jurisdictions that can take ownership in a property or invest in a property, even though they don't have, for instance, if you want to buy a house or a commercial property, they don't have the complete down payment to purchase that or finance it, they can fractionally participate. So you could be in Asia, Africa, you can be across the world, and you can make investments in any hot spot of real estate. So in that way, blockchain has the ability to level the playing field so that it allows individuals to participate in the real estate investment class. And that is one of the most transformative aspects of it. And the other thing is that we are in between systems right now. We have a very traditional way of doing real estate deals, and it takes a lot of time. There's a lot of ambiguity to it. You can have contested title, and I think over the next generation, blockchain as a technology and the implementation of it will remove all that ambiguity. First off, you can put titles on blockchain, and that brings the immutability of it. It removes the contestation. Now, instead of doing a title search and having that contested, you can know in minutes that who actually owns the land. And you have to automate the systems at levels. So as soon as you can put the titles on blockchain, then you can automate subsequent layers of it. And when you can do that, that lowers the obstacles. And when you lower obstacles, it allows more people to participate in the market. Right now, an implementation of a blockchain solution has to address the real world. So blockchain implementation would be a hybrid solution where you have the technology, the automation part of it, but then you still have to have a governance body that is operated by administrators and lawyers and real people. And as soon as you implement it in that way, then you can transition to a more automated process. And as you do that, you remove barriers and you bring efficiency. And that's the promise of blockchain technology, is that in any industry, in real estate, that it levels the playing field.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I totally believe that regulation will be a key element, in the coming years in order to facilitate adoption globally, even to the financial services, as mentioned by Mohamed, and to the real estate. Mohamed, coming back to you, I have a very quick curiosity. You mentioned about, the idea that the crypto community is very far away from businesses, right? So we have a lot of crypto young guys that actually made a lot of money and wealth into the space, but actually there is a lack of understanding and connection between those generations. So how will you see any incentive or any way to bridge those two communities of people and getting actually blockchain more closer to SMEs?
I think it will be good for both sides to now bridge the gap. You mentioned there is a gap, for sure there is a gap. One side is seeing the crypto side as a fake or not so legit, and the other side is not seeing the conventional business as some marketplace for them. That is the reason why we have so much of a volatility of the cryptocurrency prices. So more adoption needs more problem solving for the conventional businesses. So once we will be we will be providing solutions to the conventional businesses, there will be more adoption. And then, of course, there will be stability, relatively stability in the cryptocurrency prices as well. Because then it will be reflecting the usage, utility, not just the price pumps and dumps. So the incentive, of course, is for the community to reach out to the conventional businesses. There are plenty of problems which through the technology you can solve. And find out, just as we gave you our example, we wanted to start with a document management system, then we had a pivot, saw that there is a very niche requirement, and even the organizations using big names as ERPs, big accounting packages, there is a gap. Another gap was about the enablement of crypto. Again, those ERPs and accounting packages are missing that link. So plenty of gaps in supply chain, in any function of the business, in any vertical of the industry. So you need to find out where your strength is, what your project can deliver the best value for the industry, and then proceed with that. And plenty of protocols are available, plenty of now developers are available. Now you need to solve the problem, not see the, okay, blockchain will do like a next Google or no. Solve the current problems, and then eventually you will have the progression and you will come up with the next Google and next big ecosystem player.
Yeah, so more focus on actual real use than just buzzword, right?
Yeah, stay in the current problem solution zone rather than the futuristic one.
Okay, thank you. And Nicolas, I mean, you are coming from, you mentioned your family is from the traditional logistics space. So I met with 1,000 entrepreneurs in the field of logistics that actually ask me the question, how do I get in, right? So how do you feel also on your side, this gap between understanding of those generations?
For the acceptation, I think for the acceptation must coming by the regulation, the country, the users. For example, in Swiss, we have a regulation for crypto. We have many laws to encryptment the crypto, and this is for de-risk the investment for the investor, but it's also to securize the users of the blockchain, because there is a law to respect the utility tokens, the security token, and the token for investment. And this is important for the users and for the investors, for de-risk the situation.
And Brad, what's your point on that? On the adoption, global adoption, how to bridge those gaps between generation of crypto and basically traditional businesses? What you believe it's a key point?
I think it's education. More people understand what the technology is capable of. I believe more people are going to be interested in using it. Now, you also can't go from a fully regulated, centralized model to a completely unregulated and decentralized model. That's just not possible. So you need to take baby steps. You need to still be compliant. You need to still be regulated. And you need to work with your regulators to educate them, then educate your clients and educate your industry, so that when you do adopt the technology, it's welcome. And they're not basing their decisions on the pop news they read, you know, this scam happened or this criminal activity happened enabled by blockchain, which is ridiculous because everyone in this room knows the criminals don't use blockchain as much as they use fiat currency. It's much easier and much more comfortable for them. I mean, so we just need to educate and bring the education from within. If you educate your organization, it'll be easier to educate your regulators. If you educate your regulators, then it's easier to get industry adoption and proliferate.
And then what about traditional collector? How they can get in? How do you see those challenges between traditional collecting and, you know, digital tokens?
Well, from the technology point of view, it's the easiest thing possible. It's not as before until now as a collector. You have all the hurdles between your desire and your piece of art that will become in your collection. I think in the future we will see by NFTization of a lot of art, we will see the speed of action. The moment you want, but from the moment you want until the moment you're going to have a fraction of it or that part of it, it can be in minutes. But again, this new approach, in order to be a viable solution, as again, I have to say, as Brad was saying, we need to make sure that the educational part of everybody involved in the chain is going to happen, and that it will be transparent, and it will be easier for absolutely everybody to understand how these things are happening. That's why our platform brings this transparency and brings this immutability of all the actions. Thank you.
Thank you. What about Kapley, the same point? How do you see that gap closing in the next year? The gap between crypto enthusiasts and traditional business, how do you put those communities together?
All right. So I would draw a parallel to previous technologies. For instance, look at the internet and how much the adoption has changed over the years. When it first came out, people thought it was a fad. It was only used by nerds. But as solutions were developed that made people's lives easier and gave them advantage, the adoption was natural. So I think if we create good solutions that have real-world integration, solve real-world problems, the adoption will be natural for people. You know, people are intelligent. They do want to, you know, empower themselves. And blockchain is such a technology that it allows people to empower themselves. It removes things like corruption. It levels the playing field. It's an implementation of code so right now our systems run, it is like code, but the code is operated by people. We have laws and processes, and there's a lot of inefficiency, and there's a lot of room for things like corruption. And you know, most people are good actors. They want to, you know, do good in the world. They want to behave ethically. And when you have an implementation of blockchain, which is automation of code, it encourages people to act and behave in their best way. I'll give you an example. You look at eBay, you look at Amazon, and you have the people that interact with those platforms. They always want to, you know, do their best and be either a good buyer or a good seller and build that reputation. Well, blockchain is such a technology because it allows people to interact that don't trust each other. And you can build a reputation, a blockchain identity, and it encourages people to behave ethically, to, you know, do good work, to behave efficiently. And when they do that, they get the benefit. You remove a lot of the middlemen. You know, for instance, people can, you know, be their own bank in blockchain. They can lend directly instead of, you know, having money in your bank, earning 1% interest, or, you know, going to a mortgage and paying 8% interest. You can cut out the middle brokers, and blockchain, you can lend money to someone, to your neighbor even, or to a group, right? And you could earn 6% interest instead of 1 or 2%. And people, instead of getting private money and paying 10 or 12%, they'd be very happy to pay 6%. And now when you're integrated, you know, if you lend money, say you lend money for a 5-year term, you have a contract, you have a smart contract. Now, you could sell that contract 6 months down.
Yeah,
that's,
right. So
I mean, that's really empowers people.
That's a very exciting topic. I think, yeah, to wrap up and to close the panel, because I'm thinking we are out of time, I'd like to thank you, first of all the panelists. I think it has been a great informative experience for me, and I hope for the audience as well. I really believe that we will see in the next years a global adoption happening at an SME level, starting from the top, going toward the SME level, and I really believe that there is a brighter future for blockchain and from businesses to work together. Thank you very much all for participating.
Thank you.
Thank you.